Your Excellency, Mr. President, supporter of sustainability, expert speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Most of you in this morning's Future Summit audience have traveled to Abu Dhabi and to the United Arab Emirates from abroad. We who live and work in this country are delighted to welcome you all. Your determination to participate in this Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week signals to the men and women of your country and to the world the vital importance of conserving natural resources today and enhancing the ability to conserve them in the future. You have assembled in a country that shares your concerns. The UAE has recognized the perilous condition of our planet. Masdar, the generous host of this event, exists because Abu Dhabi has pledged to create a commercially viable city that offers the highest quality of life within the lowest environmental footprint. Masdar City is a major force in the progress of Abu Dhabi toward the goals of Environment Vision 2030, as set by His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Al Nahyan, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and the Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. I'm sure that all the countries represented here today are likewise dealing with strategic plans that in some way aim to protect and improve the environment. As we look around the world, we see more and more projects inspired by the desire to sustain the planet. You have all traveled to Abu Dhabi with at least some story of modest success in the world war against climate change and the misuse of the natural resources. Dear friends, your journey to the UAE would have perhaps been easier if a simple bridge linked your home to our country. Such a global infrastructure is, of course, just a passing and impossible fancy. Nevertheless, the always incisive Mahatma Gandhi once observed, and I quote, "It is easier to bridge the oceans that lies between continents than it is to bridge the gap between individuals and the people." I commend you on your resolve to accomplish the more difficult task. You are bridging the inevitable gaps between your many differences. Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week demonstrates the power of tolerance. You have traveled from the four corners of the earth in pursuit of a common goal, a sustainable goal. You are not people who think only of yourselves and have no regard for people different from yourselves. On the contrary, you recognize the diversity of the people who inhabit planet Earth and know that all inhabitants must work together if planet Earth is to endure and flourish. Your tolerant embrace of global diversity encourages the empathy and compassion necessary for understanding and cooperation. We in the UAE have come to understand the power of tolerance. Our teacher was the founder of our nation, the late Sheikh bin Sultan Al Nahyan, whose birth centennial the country celebrated last year. Sheikh Zayed welcomed ambitious and talented people from around the world who contributed to the swift and peaceful development of the UAE. His tolerance enabled us all to build bridges among the diverse communities of our population. His Highness the President, Sheikh bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who embodies the tolerance of Sheikh Zayed, has extended the celebration of Sheikh Zayed's example by declaring this year, 2019, the year of tolerance. Sheikh Zayed also was an innate conservationist. He realized that oil had the potential to provide social capital and wealth that would enable investment in the country's people, thereby empowering them with first-rate education and health care. But he also understood that this wealth could and should be used to support the environment. Sheikh Zayed, a man of the desert, cherished his environment and, like you participant in Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, shouldered responsibility for it. Sheikh Zayed viewed sustainability as a community responsibility when it comes to the environment. The responsible community is necessarily global. To be effective, our global community must be infused with a spirit of tolerance. Worldwide cooperation demands the respectful and sympathetic inclusion of everyone, irrespective of nationality, ethnicity, gender, ability or disability, age, political or philosophical belief, religion, or economic status. No element of the global population can wall itself away from the Earth's environment. Worldwide cooperation demands empathy, compassion, honesty, and the kind of dialogue that distinguishes the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. Tolerance builds bridges and allow us to fulfill our duty to the future of the planet. Tolerance is a very powerful enabler of sustainability. To understand the link between tolerance and sustainability, one may look no further than the United Nations. In September 2015, the General Assembly adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development that includes 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Building on the principle of leaving no one behind, emphasize a holistic approach to achieving sustainable development for all. Goal 16 is the embodiment of tolerance. Goal 16 states explicitly, and I quote, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. This is as clear and unequivocal a statement as possible, emphasizing the key role that tolerance plays in enabling sustainable societies. Peaceful and inclusive societies are those that embrace and cherish diversity and difference in all its forms. However, like a bridge, tolerance requires constant attention. Most important, our schools and universities, both religious and secular, must combat ignorance and promote understanding through the scholarship of its faculties and through their teaching of its students. Free and open discussions must prevail. Curiosity must be honored. Faculties must encourage students to cross the boundaries and engage the unknown. Human history reveals that men and women of all religions, ethnicities, and cultures have long been threatened by the unknown. It has too often been the case that many of us have known very little about them. Even in today's world of easy travel, instantaneous communication, and almost unlimited access to information, alarming number of us humans remain extremely parochial, indifferent to other points of view, resistance to new knowledge, content in our ignorance, fears of the unknown breed hostility and often lead to armed conflict. Fear and ignorance destroy civilizations. Today, we in the UAE have concluded that we prosper because we talk to each other. Welcome, Mr. President. Had we known you coming, we would have waited for you. Welcome. And you have not missed much anyway, so it's okay. We seek to know and respect the other unique individuals who work by our side in building a prosperous global economy. We all proudly maintain our various personalities while respecting each other for the universal virtues that we all value. Ladies and gentlemen, this future summit will be full of imaginative new ideas that you will prudently evaluate for their impact on productivity and sustainable economic growth. New York Times columnist Thomas Friedman remind us most increases in productivity today results from education, research, and innovation, those activities that mark high imagination, enabling countries, because everything we need for our survival and well-being depends either directly or indirectly on our natural environment. We cannot ignore the imaginative ideas that may increase the chances for humans and nature to exist in a productive harmony. Your tolerance will lead you to consider those imaginative ideas and to encourage policymakers, industry leaders, entrepreneurs, scientists, and academics to enable the imagination of their countrymen in every way possible. Business must proceed, but it cannot be business as usual. Our imaginations, your imaginations today must create and better ways to keep the environment sound and the economy going. I know that you will be discussing ways to avert water crisis. Water is always a subject of intense interest in the UAE. Water is also the focus of sustainable development. Goal number 6, ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. It is a fact that the ecosystem in many regions of the world is fragile, to say the least. Pollution, human activity, waste discharge, oil spills, and continuing degradation of resources are taking a heavy toll on those ecosystems and threatens the ability to support future generations. A continuous theme of this summit, you will be open to innovative proposals for solving problems by capitalizing on current technology. Your toleration must also encourage you to bridge a way to civil discussions among the different people who populate and pollute the ecosystem. The differences are myriad, to include political. The Harvard history professor, Sunit Amreth, makes a convincing case in his newly published book titled Unruly Waters. That water has shaped the history of Asia, and the reader can easily extend his insight to the history of any other geographical location. The challenge posed by threats to ecosystem around the world necessitates interdisciplinary, inter-industry, and international cooperation and innovation. And of course, such innovation and cooperation must result in action, elaborate plans, detailed agreements, and memorandums of understanding sustain nothing but endless meetings. Sustainability, like tolerance, demands actions and deeds. My dear friends, the water challenge and every other challenge to sustainability examined by this future summit, you will, I'm confident, meet fearlessly and imaginatively, having crossed all obstacles to productive cooperation on bridges of tolerance. Thank you for your noble aspirations and your tolerance. Best wishes for a very successful Sustainability Week, and God bless you all. Thank you.